built this club from nothing. And I loves it.
Welcome to episode 6 of In The Dugout. Today we are unfortunately scraping the barrel a little bit, so we've managed to rope in Richard Scannell, ex-Bonamine player, now current chairman of Bonamine. Scans, how are we doing, buddy?
Yeah, not too bad. Thanks for the glowing introduction, Stu. Complimentary as ever, mate.
Of course, mate. Yeah, good lockdown.
Bit too good, to be honest with you. They do say that the camera puts about £10 on you.
Yeah, we've got two cameras on.
I beg to disagree. I think it puts about 3 or 4 stone on you, to be honest with you.
Oh, mate, thanks for agreeing to do this. I much appreciated, and hopefully we'll have a good little chat now about your time at the club, and we'll go straight into it if you're ready, mate. Are you happy with that?
Yeah, mate. Yeah, let's go for it.
Let's rock and roll. So, Scans, we're at the club for many years now, mate. What is your first memory of Bonamine Park Mall?
Well, first sort of thing that springs to mind, I played a lot of junior league football when I was a younger kid, and then I sort of got chucked in goals when I was about 11 or 12 and piled the pounds on. So ended up giving up the football, and a couple of lads in school then said, "Come on, you're perfect for rugby.
Yeah.
Come and play up at Bonamine." So yeah, spent some cold and wet nights waiting at the bus stop opposite the ship there for the bus to turn up, and quite often a lot of the players, sort of players on their way home from work would pull over, myself and Mark Derbyshire at the time who were playing for the under-15s. I think I started off at, and so yeah, coming up to training, and then obviously played in a fantastic junior side with a couple of great players. So yeah,
who was in that team, Scam?
Well, Darren Poland was our captain, to be honest with you, and Darren was like a man when everyone else was kids, to be honest. He was tough as old boots, like and a leader at that age, in fairness.
Yeah.
Chris Anthony was number 8, who went on to play front row.
Is he really?
Yeah, he was our number 8, and quality number 8. Dean Thomas was open side flanker.
Seriously, what, for Bonamine now?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Danny Hawkins was our scrum half. Rydian Clement outside half. Yeah, we had a really good teammate, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And I think myself, Derbyshire, Gary Windle, we were a year older than those lads, but they just used to give us a bit of game time just to keep us interested, because we didn't have a 16s, and obviously the youth was quite buoyant at the time. So yeah, played 15s and 16s in that team.
Oh, well, what a side that is. I didn't realise they were up there. See? God.
Yeah. They played up until under 16s. Not quite sure what happened, but then there was some guys went to Birch Grove. A couple of us stayed at Bonamine, and obviously Chris, Dean went down to Swansea. Then they were pretty good play. I think Daniel went down as well to Swansea. They were all banging on the doors down there.
Yeah.
Quality.
So who was coaching you then, Scans?
Yeah, we had some great coaches. Obviously, all dads, all volunteers.
Yeah.
Jeff Clement used to get involved. Howell Bryant's son, Owain, played for us. So Howell was around the coaching setup. Malcolm Anthony, bless him, great guy. And Mike Pauls, I think Gron mentioned.
Yeah, he did, yeah. Good story about him, actually, yeah.
We were in real good hands, to be honest with you. We were well looked after, proper rugby people, and put us on the right road, really. Yeah.
So when you had we had a bit of a taste of it then, Scans, it was never ever looking back? It was just kind of
No. I mean, to be honest with you, I'm a bit of I thoroughly enjoy the social aspect of rugby, as much as the playing, and what was great for me, we'd play on a Sunday morning, and it wasn't like jump in your cars and go home like the football. It was back to the club, a little bit of food, and then we just hang around, we'd watch other games, beat the hell out of each other, and
Yeah.
stay at the club for 3 or 4.
They used to have the soup in the cup. Remember that? That was the best.
No, in my day it was the coloured water in the cup. It was the good stuff.
We used to have a knife and fork to eat the bottom of my soup. It was always to stick at the bottom, like.
Shortage of spoons, see, mate.
It was renowned though, because everyone used to have a hot dog after the game, didn't they? Hot dog and off you go. But one of mine, I can remember like loads of teams come up and say, "Oh, freezing cold, isn't it? Oh, I'll have a little cup of soup now." So all the players are going out with a little cup of soup, like brilliant.
No hot dogs in sight, but yet it became a bit of a slogan for Boney Mine.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, no hot dogs for tea. Yeah.
Hot dogs for tea.
So you went into finish that then, Scan, into youth rugby then, was it?
Yeah, played 3 years of youth rugby. Didn't play much rugby in the first year of youth, to be honest with you. Stepped up into a real good side, Played a couple of games through the year, second row, and then that year, then a load of guys went up into the seniors, like Sir Ryan Thompson, Rob Wallow, Chris Lewis.
Okay.
Yeah, so they went up. Second year, we were a fairly steady side, and I captained then in the third year. Yeah, before going into the senior setup. Great days. I remember I was captain, and I think we played at Kenvigill, and played the game, few beers after the game, and we were told under no uncertain terms, if we weren't on the bus at 6 o'clock, it was going. We're all on the bus, but there was no sign of our team manager, Fred, or the coach. So the bus driver says, "Is everyone on?" I said, "Yeah, come on, let's go back to the club," and left them up there. They weren't happy when they walked back. I remember the bar doors flying, steam coming out of their ears. Who told that bus to go? Yeah.
Pointed a few fingers in, that was me.
Slid down under the table. Yeah. Training that week was fun.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah. That's an actual proper excuse. So I don't know how many times the bus has broken down. But that is proper, a genuine excuse on their behalf, isn't it? The bus did actually leave you behind. Like, so It does happen. To all the wives out there watching this now, it genuinely does happen on occasion. So if we are on it.
There's another great story. I remember Ron Waldron was involved in the club, and he brought the fella up. Yeah, he was supposed to be the next big thing, a bit of a second row. And Ron said to us, "Look, this guy is going to play with you in the second team now. I want you to look after him. He doesn't drink. He looks after himself." Yeah, we played at Cardiff way or somewhere, and we were just getting towards Pyle, and the bus started chugging along, and I think my brother Steve was captain at the time, and he said to the driver, he said, "Drive, we'll have a whip round if you can just get us to the old wine house in Pyle." And, I think we managed to stay in there for about 5 hours while they were repairing the bus. And Mike Collier, the guy's name was, he couldn't talk leaving. It does happen. It definitely does happen.
It is, yeah. It's happened a few times, unfortunately. We don't want to be stuck out late, but it does happen, doesn't it? So finishing your youth, your time in the youth scans, moving up to senior rugby, can you remember first game, first seconds, or when you moved up, taking a step up?
Yeah, I remember coming into the senior setup, and I can't remember my exact first game, to be honest with you, but one of our very early games, I was playing for the second team, and I was really lucky when I came through. There was a couple of really good boys that had played a lot of first team rugby that were just stepping down a little bit, and I remember going up to play in St. Peter's in Cardiff.
Okay.
And turned up there with my new scrum cap, thinking I was the kiddie, and I was playing blindside flanker and
it must have been a while ago, Scan, blindside, yeah.
Yeah, lifting Kevin Brooks in the line out, and first line out, middle lob was the call, and as he stepped back and I crouched to lift him, the year 6 just knocked my hand away. So Kevin turned around and said, "What happened then?" I said, I said the blindside just knocked my hand away, so I couldn't lift you. And he said to me, "Well, if he does that again," he said, "don't mess about." He said, "Just let him have one." We got to the next line up, my backside was going 10 to the praying that he doesn't do it again. And what's the call? Middle lob. What does he do? Knocks my hand away. And I remember I thought to myself, I've got to let him out.
I've got to give it to him, yeah.
So I weighed into him, and he just managed to get the hole in my scrum cap, pull my scrum cap down on my eyes, and he battered me. And I just thought to myself, I don't want to lift in the lineup anymore.
Was Kevin Brooks get involved or what?
Oh, it was a full on melee up there. In fairness,
Standard.
That's one of the earliest memories I can remember.
Yeah, so in that team in that era, then Scans, who was you playing with then?
I think Steve, my brother, was playing. Ian and Percy were sort of rotating Hooker-wise. Rob Wallow, Terry Purdue used to have a game now and again. Kevin Brooks, Billy McPherson.
Oh, okay.
Back row boys. I don't quite remember. There was a lot of first team competition at the time, and they managed to get the second team fixtures into a really good standard, so that the boys that weren't playing were playing a good standard of rugby anyway. So it was Keith Brooks was a bit of a regular. Whiskey was a regular in there. Clive Ace played quite a lot of rugby at that time. Yeah.
Ah, tidy. So is that so strong side then, very competitive first and seconds, all just a lot of the conversations I've had on here with the boys, like, and they just say how brutal some of the training sessions used to be back then, and everybody just buy in for the jersey really, and it was Thursdays used to be probably more physical than a Saturday. Yeah,
I think around that time they probably softened that up a bit, because every time that they went bone on bone, basically, one team against another team, it was just a free for all, really, but they did do it on occasion, but they tried to do it in more of a controlled manner, a proper game with a referee sort of thing. I remember once I was desperate to play for the first team, but Andrew Mcpherson was playing up here at the time. Good player, big ball carrying six, and I kept every week when I wasn't picked, they'd ask for feedback and what have you, and kept getting told to fit there and work on
too light and not mobile enough. I think that's what he said, didn't he?
Every time, referee, every time. But I remember we played a game on the first team, and I think they were awarded a quick tap penalty. Percy tapped it and ran straight at me, and I absolutely mullered him. But that's what the training was all about. It was a chance. When you had a chance, you had to try and take it. And
definitely,
you ran up. But. Good times.
So, can you remember any tough opponents, either like against you, like an individual, or a team that you think flipping it? Every time I play against these, they always give me a bit of a tough game, like.
Well, played. I tell you, I played against Mark Jones, the number 8.
Oh, Scooby.
Always had to look out over your shoulder when you played against him, because you didn't know when he was going to wade into you. He's something all right with him, but that for me, that was just like dirty, not as if he was a tough opponent, really. One player that sticks in my memory, who I used to enjoy playing against him, to be honest with you, but he used to amaze me, was Josie from down in Wanala, Dan Joseph.
Dan Joseph, yeah.
Because you could go down there, you think you had a great team, you think you were in for a right easy day, and if he was on your team, you knew you weren't going to be winning by more like 5-10 points.
Yeah, 100%.
And now he phenomenal. Wrap himself around the ball, make it really difficult to play against. Just an absolute menace, to be honest with you. Great guy as well. I mean, we were lucky enough to sign him and had a couple of seasons out of him up here.
Yeah, definitely. He for me, he used to be in the right place at the right time, all the time. Like, and he'd finish tries. You think he's no need for that. And a real good thing as well. We used to do nominate players to bring food after a training session, like once. And he used to do the best sausage casserole ever. So we used to keep nominating him. So he put in a slow cooker in the club before training, right? And everyone couldn't wait to get off the party to go in and smash it in. Like, it was incredible. And we had a real good season out of him in the championship. He was great player. He played against us for Wine this year as well, and he's same nuisance, like all over the ball and slowed everything down. Like Yeah, outstanding.
I
Scans,
think-
I think you keep dropping your wallet on the table, but you're shaking this flipping camera like it's no tomorrow.
Stage fright, that is still. Stage fright. I'll take my elbows off.
Yeah, it must be your wallet, I think.
The wallet's empty, mate.
Yeah, well, great player. So yeah, Dan Joseph, he's up there with one a tough competitor.
Yeah, and in terms of teams, probably the first sort of 2 or 3 years in senior rugby, for some reason, we used to play Swansea Emerging quite a lot.
All right.
And yeah, you know, you'd have like all the sort of younger Swansea players. They come through the youth. So I played against Darren Poland, Dean Thomas, you know, Lee Robbins, Jarvis played the odd game.
Oh.
And I always remember, you know, I think Dean Thomas, Darren Poland, I think because you know they played for both.
Yeah.
They always wanted to put a shift in, you know, and yeah, I'd rather play with them than against them. Let's just say.
Definitely tough players like flipping neck.
But it was you know you'd have a good battle, but you know you're playing down St. Helens, nice wide pitch. We got the chance to play some good rugby as well, you know.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I used to love St. Helens, the old ground. Like it was incredible. I remember because you used to play all your finals and stuff down there, didn't you? Like back in the day. You were in a successful team, but yeah, we used to be down there quite often. But it was a good little place for us. So I used to just love it. I used to go in the players' entrance and the old wooden side on Mumbles Road, but there, and then you'd be changing underneath the stand. Like it was great. Like not quite as nice as Park Mauer on a sunny day, but yeah, one of my favourite grounds I was.
What were the taps like for you down there, Stu, for filling the top of the water bottles? Really good.
They weren't too bad, yeah.
Yeah.
They weren't too bad.
Yeah.
I used to get hydrated, mate. I was the best water boy there, so it, you know, you can't fault that. Scans, any memorable games that stick in your head?
For somebody with not such a great memory, mate, that's a tough question. Yeah, I remember. Obviously, I had a Welsh Districts cap, which was out in Denmark. That was a bit of a nice honour, you know. Nowhere near a full cap, to be honest with you. But for I think I was 20 at the time, you know, and it was a bit of a thing, you know. We went through a trial process, and myself and Sammy Maddox went out to Denmark and had a cap out there. We won the game out there, which was a good weekend. But another for Boney Mine, I want to say for Boney Mine, but for / Swansea and District, really, it was a year that we represented the district on block.
All right.
The Howells Cup, and we got to the final of the Howells Cup. We were playing Llanelli District, you know, and I think they'd won the Howells Cup for like 5 or 6 years on the trot. You know, they were allegedly the kiddies.
Yeah.
We turned up there with a young team without a hope in hell, you know, and yeah, we ended up winning the cup that day, and that was yeah, and I think the final was down in Tartar Steel's ground.
Okay.
And you know, there was one hell of a Boney Mine crowd there. In fairness, you know, obviously a lot of the stalwarts had followed us through the year in that particular cup, and yeah, it was a great day, to be honest with you.
It's nothing like a
as well.
Yeah, it's nothing like a cup competition to bring a club together as we know.
Yeah.
What a day that the picture behind you, mate, the jersey behind you, wow, incredible, pal. Yeah. So just touch upon that game then, but you said with that Welsh district, was it Welsh District or Welsh Youth? Did you say?
Welsh Districts.
Welsh District. So that was against Denmark, and was it like their national team?
It was their national. Yeah, they used to. The Welsh Districts was a formed from June, you know, players that played in this Howells Cup, you know, district rugby mainly, and then they would play sort of emerging nations, like, you know, Denmark were renowned for their rugby, but I think they've been playing. I think it was their 50-year anniversary when we went out there, so we had a. I was lucky enough to catch the big shindig after the game.
Yeah.
We had a pretty good night out after it.
I bet, man, that sounds incredible. I didn't realise he was up there, because obviously I seen your photo on the wall in the club, like, and I didn't realise he was Denmark. Also, it's a hell of an achievement, fair play.
It wasn't you that put the darts in that photo, Stu, was it?
Well, not guilty, mate. Not guilty. Remember Remember that stage when the boys used to take used to turn the photos upside down? The boys used to turn up with a screwdriver, like, and 1 week someone would have it, like, yeah. So I remember when I went down Dunbad, my photo would have it every weekend, mate. So it was well, not me this time. I wasn't guilty that time. Sorry, mate. My brother could have been mistaken identity. We'll go on now, Scan. So finished, well, still playing, still having a game now and again, and you, fair play to you.
I find it really difficult at the moment. Obviously, you know, being chairman, you know, there's normally games on at the club which requires quite a lot of work on a Saturday. So, you know, as much as I'd love to get a bit fitter and still have the odd game, it's difficult with the commitment that I've made, you know. So,
but with now that Rory Thornton's gone, and he used to select the forwards, and he'd never pick it. I would always be saying, when you've got to look at Scannell, he's doing well, like, but Rory'd be like, no, he's put a bit too much weight on. But I'd always be there backing him up. So maybe this year with Steph being in charge of the forwards, you might get a bit of a look there now, Scan.
Well, funnily enough, Roz has texted me today and he said, Scan, hope you go easy on me. I always wanted to play you, but it was Dragon that said you. So one of you's lying, mate.
That's him, mate. He's terrible. You know what he's like. So, is there anything in your rugby career, mate, that you change anything?
I suppose what I should say is that I should have socialised a bit less and trained a bit harder, to be honest with you. You know, if I'd wanted to go, you know, be more of a first team player, you know, make a bit of a better stake for a place in the side. But when I look back, I've thoroughly enjoyed my years of playing rugby. Would I change anything? I don't think I would, pal. To be honest with you, you know, played a tidy standard of rugby most of my playing days. Met some great people, you know. Made some lifelong friends and what have you, you know. And now thoroughly enjoying putting a bit back in as well, you know. So,
mate, yeah, 100%. And like I'll echo, like, for a lot of people that say what you've done at the club, incredible, mate. And you know, the club's in a good place at the minute. And a lot of it is down to you. It's looking good, and there's a real good feeling up there. And yeah, a fair play to you, pal. You've done wonders up there. So yeah, I take my hat off to you.
Well, yeah. Listen, I agree with you. The club's in a great place, you know, to be honest with you. But I think I came in at a good time. You know, I took over as chairman at a good time. First 12 months was a bit difficult, but you know, I take my hat off to the people that had been in those roles for like the 10 years before, really, who didn't have the sort of the rub of the green that I had, you know, and maybe the feel-good factor of the players, you know, the good coaching staff and what have you. We hit a bit of a purple patch over the last 2 or 3 years. The junior section's back flying, you know, the youth team's just about back there for this season, you know, would have been last season, but we all know what happened there, and like you say, you know, the number of men and women that we got training up here during the week, you know, it's a great place to be honest with you. You know,
100%.
I think it's a real team effort, to be honest with you, real team effort.
Yeah, no, and doing these videos as well, I think you realise how much the club means to so many people. It's a massive common goal for everybody, innit? Like now, and everyone's got memories, and you know, by doing these videos, I just hope when this is all done, we can all sit up there or sit outside, or whatever it may be, and just keep sharing these stories, and you know, putting the club out there, because people are doing some real good work up there, and it's you know, want everybody to know about it, and it's a special place, isn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely a special place, you know, and I sort of fell away from the club for a while, you know, when my kids were young and they were playing sport and what have you. I had commitments with them. I probably didn't come to the club for 6 or 8 years, and it's easy to lose that sort of
of course it is, man.
association with the club, you know. But you know what we're doing with these interviews, mate, I think is reaching out to a far wider audience. You know, people are remembering their days.
Yeah, 100%.
And hopefully, you know, if they feel the buzz for it again, and they come back up when we're back playing and what have you, then it's done its job, really, you know. And
definitely, man.
Definitely. Credit to you as well, Stu, to be honest with you.
Do you know what, mate? Right, I can't wait to have a bingo, lingo, or racing night up there again, because they are epic, aren't they? So we'll hopefully when they can when that opens up, we can sell the club out for a few of them. But
I have heard they're good nights, to be honest with you. I've been to everyone, but can't remember anything about them, to be honest with you. But
we call it, but nobody knows what bingo lingo is. It gets the game 5 and everyone's mullered. Winning prize like £100 but no one pays attention. Everyone's up dancing and great nights.
fantastic.
Outstanding, mate. So we're going to move on to your Bonomine team. Have you found this difficult, Scans? Not just because of your memory, but have you found it difficult to pick in different boys?
Found it dead easy, Stu, to be honest with you. No, honest.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, dead easy. All I got to do now is choose from one of the 15 teams that I've picked, which one I'm going to read out for the interview, basically. But
another good tactic, right, is think, right, if I pick him, when I'm at the club now in a few weeks, few months, he's more likely to buy me a pint for picking me in his team than this person. So you got to think tactically sometimes, Scan. So I wouldn't begrudge you.
Hey, one thing I would say, I wouldn't mind going to Barons with John Tregg's team. I don't think you'd have any problems in out and about in town if you had those guys flanking you.
Some of these teams that they putting up, you think, but then you realise the club has produced players, and not just players who've gone on to higher standards, and which is amazing, brilliant, but local boys playing first team, second team rugby up there, and you know what. Club legends, so, and it's great to hear different stories from different eras. And I've loved doing it. So we'll start off on your Lucid, Scan. You can't pick yourself. You can't pick yourself, Lucid, either.
Well, I'm just gonna. Right. So number one, couple of people that came to mind. I when I sort of first went into the senior section, Robert Price was the kiddie. I never got to play with Rob much, to be honest, because he went to Aberafon and then on to Bridgend. But heck of a player, fit guy, and could scrummage well as well. Really got around the park. On the flip side of that, I played a lot of rugby with Borge.
On the flip side,
and if rugby was just about scrummaging, then Borge would be in.
Oh, definitely.
Hell of a good lad in the scrum. But just didn't like the running about that much. But I've gone for Geraint the Farmer.
Geraint the Farmer.
Geraint Evans. Character. Good player. Good social player as well. But
I'm sure we had a few pints with him down
Minnie the Gehrig.
That's that where he's from, is it?
Yeah.
Is that his club, is it?
He came up from Minnie the Gehrig, yeah. I remember he was a farmer and he used to come training like 6:30 in the night. You'd have Keith Holyfield screaming at it, come on, run. He'd been up since 3 o'clock. I'm in and this, that, and the other. And he's just looking around as if to say, what's going on here?
What's happening here?
Good rugby player in fairness. Tough as old boots and a good scrummager.
Solid. All right, mate. So we've got him in. Luke said, who's your guy?
Tough position, mate. But obviously, Darren's a great player. I mentioned how hard it was to play against him, and
he's animal.
And again, you've got Steph alongside him, who was equally as talented. And another lad that I played in youth rugby with was Gary Windle, who went off to the army and could have played at a good standard if he'd stuck in civvy world, but obviously off he went. But the guy that I've picked up to is he was a third-year youth player when I first went into youth, and I played again with him in senior rugby. There's a guy called Adrian Percy.
Right, yeah.
Bit of a short guy. He was, Yayan was playing a lot of first team rugby at the time. And a couple of other guys that were back forward. But Percy's darts, Percy's throwing, and his work around the park was unbelievable. Like I say, he probably wasn't as good a scrummager as some of the other lads he was competing with. But hell of a player.
Is his lad play centre for Birchgrove?
Captain Birchgrove for a good couple of years,
He's a very good player as well. Good player.
he plays inside centre, doesn't he?
Yeah, centre. Yeah, tough boy. Yeah, good. Right, okay, excellent. Percy's in there.
Oh, you're frozen.
Tight dead.
Yeah, tight dead. Bit of a cheat, this one. Rob Wall, who I played with in youth rugby.
Yeah.
Good scrummager. And I think Ron mentioned the lad Coco, Kevin Willis.
Yeah.
Kevin Willis was phenomenal in fairness because he just didn't look like a prop. You know, if you were a loose head prop, your first scrum, you must have been rubbing your hands. But but he always held his own in fairness. Rarely did he go back. But I've gone for Alan Bevan.
Alan Bevan, okay.
I didn't play much with him at Boney Mine, but I did.
Where do you play with him to? Where did you play with him to?
EB Llandas played a couple. Phenomenal player, to be honest with you.
Yeah, good. He's he's been on a few clubs as a coaching, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, Alan Bevan. Can't say I've seen him play, but I've learned a lot about him. Second rows, buddy.
Okay, so Billy McPherson and Pat Nolan are sort of guys that were right up there when I first came into senior rugby, and they had a hell of a partnership, to be honest with you. Both good players, and Stuart Miller I played quite a lot of rugby with as well.
Great player, yeah.
Yeah, developed late, Stu. You know, he was a little bit timid in the early days, but the older, you know, the more he played, the more prominent he became, and you know, late, you know, was sort of when he hit the sort of 30s, he was one hell of a player, to be honest with you. You know, putting it about and great line forward. But I've actually picked Kevin Brooks for sort of the influence he had on me. You know, in my sort of early years when I in the senior setup.
Do you know, now that you picked Kevin Brooks, he might watch an episode now. So well done. We've got an extra viewer from this now. Nice one, Kev. Oh man.
Well, I think there's more chance of him watching the episode than there is of him buying me a pint. he's part of the White family, isn't he?
Yeah, they're all the same. The Brookses, they're terrible, honestly.
Well did. Yeah.
Great man. What a guy as well. Love him to bits.
And the other second row is a lad. I think he played junior rugby at the club, and he came back from university, played a solid season up here. A guy called Chris Blanchard.
Right.
And what a second row, mate. What a second row. Fit as they come. Great line out forward. I think, you know, after a couple of games, a lot of people looking for him to play first rugby. But I think he was then going off to university again. So he wasn't going to be around. But yeah, he played some really good rugby, in fairness, and could have been a really talented player. I lost touch with him after he left the club, so I don't know what he went on to do elsewhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, funny you should say. I must be his brother, Steve. Is it Steve Franchant?
No, I think Steve's his dad.
Oh, his dad. Well, he's messaged me, just saying about he's been watching all this as well, and saying about his time at the club and how he's enjoying these conversations. So, yeah, awesome, man. It's funny how it pans out, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's had a couple of T-shirts made up as well, yeah. So we'll have to try and get them out and about. They look good.
Right.
Blindside flanker.
Okay. Yeah. Andy Llewellyn, I put somewhere in the mix. I haven't quite gone for Slew, but Slew came to the club, you know, sort of a bit raw. Played a lot of rugby for Boney Mine and sort of worked his way up to becoming, you know, number 8 for a couple of seasons. But played a lot of rugby with Slew. And again, I mentioned earlier, Andy Mcpherson.
Yeah.
Big ball carrying number 6, to be honest with you. He absolutely got battered for the 3 or 4 years that he played up in Boney Mine. He couldn't, you know, he put his body on the line week in, week out, to be honest. So he probably played with lots of injuries as well. Yeah. But the boy that I've gone for is RJ Dulio.
Yeah, great player.
Yeah, RJ was immense, to be honest with you. I think he hadn't fulfilled half of his potential. I think he had a nasty knee injury, and we sort of didn't get the best out of him.
Yeah.
He's
tough as all boots, and I think he's you know, as we mentioned a couple of times, like from the boys who doing these conversations, like But quite similar to like a Josie kind of player, when he doing me on the bottom of everything, tough and. But yeah, nice mate. He's used 6.
I think the tougher it got for RJ, the better he played. You know, the
pressure like.
Him, you know, yeah. I think if you were going to go out and beat somebody 15-0, you probably wouldn't see him. But if you were in a right street fight, you know, then that's where you'd see him on the floor and you know, winning the 50-50s and turning people over in the tackle and what have you.
Awesome.
Hell of a player.
Open side.
Open side. Why is it every club has about 1 million back row players every?
I know. Strong, isn't it?
Yeah. So a legend of bowling, Andrew Myers. I watched Andrew a lot, to be honest with you. Got to play with him a couple of times in the seconds, and yeah, phenomenal player.
Okay.
One of the guys that came up here from Dunvant, a guy called Ian Callahan.
Okay.
Outstanding 7. Again, you know, tough as old boots, fit as a fiddle. Real good lad. But I've gone for Dean Thomas. Bit of a favourite of mine from the time that we spent in junior rugby together.
What's he doing now?
I think he does a bit of property development and trains his arms hell of a lot as well, to be honest with you.
He's a big old bell.
He's in great shape, in fairness.
Yeah. I used to enjoy watching him when he went down to Swansea in obviously I think it must have been 14, 15. So I used to watch Swansea quite a bit then, and then he was class act on there. Really good player. Loose bloke, isn't he?
Well, he had good tutelage. He was under Webby for a couple of years.
Oh, flipping heck.
Probably on the same wavelength as Webby.
Number 8.
Number 8 for. I've a couple to mention. Chris Anthony that I mentioned earlier. Obviously, he went on to play in the front row. I think they converted him from the back row up to the front row.
Welsh cap, isn't he?
Yeah, tight head. He had his cap. When I came into senior rugby, Ken Isaacs was the daddy, you know. Hell of a player to watch. But again, I didn't really play with him, play rugby with Ken. I played quite a bit with Chris Powell, and I picked Chris just in front of Ted, really, the murderer. So Chris Powell,
jerky.
Number 8, mate, yeah.
He's he turned up on tour once. I think our first year or second year up in Birmingham, and he impressed a few of the boys. What a guy! Like flipping clean off, and he after the boys like, who's this guy? And then he turned up like flipping heck. Loose bloke.
You mentioned Dean being loose. If I look at that 1 to 8, there's a few loose heads in there.
It's a few, definitely a few yellow cards.
That would be one hell of a tour to go on, but that.
Oh god, yeah, 100%, pal. Scrum half. Danny Hawkins stands out, to be honest with you. Great player in junior rugby. I didn't play with him when he was. I didn't play much with him when he came back up and played senior rugby for us. A player I really enjoyed playing with up here was Andy Jacobs. Yeah.
Just not technically brilliant, to be honest with you, but you know.
He captained the club, didn't he?
Yeah. He had a season captain in the club. I think he came over from Neath, didn't he? I think he played a season or 2 for Neath.
Oh, okay.
And he came to play up here for a. Excuse me.
He came up the club for the captain's evening we had about 2 years ago. Something like that. So he came up there for that. It was good to see everyone again, like, you know.
Yeah, I've gone just for the impact that he had for the couple of seasons I played with him. I've gone with Bulldog.
Oh, what a player!
Gareth James. I remember him coming up here and the coaches, Webby was coaching us that year, and sort of looked at him and they sort of changed the whole game plan. You know, they said to the forwards, look, when you hit rucks now, you just drag people out to the rucks, out to the sides, leave a gap in the middle
for him,
so that Gareth can just blast through. And
it was ridiculous, wasn't it? It was ridiculous.
You hand people off, mate. I think. You know.
There's not many 9s who could do that at the club. I think it was me and Bulldog. That's probably it. Like,
you haven't got the muscles on your ears that he had on his though.
Unbelievable. He used to finish games. I used to watch him. Like, he'd finish games, off his top would be off, ripped this. He scored 3 tries, put that 8 on his head about 4 or 5 times, and he'd be doing like flipping sprints up and down and press ups and stuff after the game. I'd be thinking, flipping heck. That's incredible. Like he was different level. I think he was like ridiculous. He scored so many tries that year.
Yeah,
What a player. Couldn't kick, but he went higher, didn't he? He went Llandafri, Neath, and all that type of stuff. So he's done a bit outstanding, like flipping neck. Outside off, who's his partner?
Twiggy, I got down here as a serious contender. Twiggy, hell of a boot on him, and a cracking rugby player as well, to be honest with you.
Yeah, lovely guy.
And I played a lot with Danny Jones.
Class.
He's a steady good 10 in fairness. But I've gone for Jason Davis, the Henry lad that came up here for a couple of seasons.
Yeah.
What a sportsman. What a player, to be honest. He always looked as if he had so much time on the ball, to be honest. And yeah, comfortable, get the back line going, and really made people commit to him, which opened up space for other people.
Yeah.
Hell of a turn of pace on him.
Yeah. He good cricketer as well, didn't he? Plays
Fantastic. Yeah. My son played down in Hendy for a bit in junior rugby, and I used to bump into Jace down there, Yeah, nice player.
Deservedly in there. Yeah. We go for number 11, winger, left wing.
Yeah. Played with Paul John. Good cracking player. Probably got aged a bit by the time I was playing with him, to be honest. I know he played a lot of first team rugby back in the day. Johnny Young, Jeremy Bynan, great players that came to the club outside. But I've actually picked the Pepper Army himself, Mr. Keith Brooks.
Keith in there, yes.
Keith was not the fastest winger that ever played, but strong player, really strong player, good rugby brain on him, and as tough as they come.
Yeah, 100%. And I played with Keith for the seconds many a time, and it was so good for youngsters to come up and play with someone with that much experience. Helped us massively going down to places like Whitland, Narberth, Carmarthen, and stuff like that. Like you always need somebody like Keith on your side, don't you?
Always that habit of picking on the biggest bloke on the pitch.
Yeah, you're right.
Seek him out and in the trouble. Yeah, no, good player, great bloke. Team. Yeah,
and he's doing loads up a club as well. So fair play to him. Inside centre, Scan.
Yeah, Sammy Maddock I've picked at 12. Played a hell of a lot of rugby with Sammy. I mean, could have, and played a lot of first team rugby at the club. I think he played his fair share, in fairness. Obviously, he was around at this, for a number of years behind the legend himself, Jonzo. And Jonzo was a great player, to be honest. I didn't play that much with Mark, but watched him a lot and seen him in training. Phenomenal. Yeah. Yeah, and you can still see that class he got now.
Still got it now, yeah, 100%.
But the other lad I played quite a fair bit with was Gareth Wynne Thomas. Yeah. Yeah, he's another nice little 12 he was, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Sammy just gets the vote there, to be honest with you. Sammy's my 12.
I can't say I've seen Sammy play, but a lot of people have mentioned how good he was and stuff. So still thought highly of up the club, pal. It was brilliant. Mm-hmm. Who's his 13, mate?
13. Played a fair bit with Dugsy and obviously Neil Wilcox, two quality players. But somebody who had a great influence on me, my sort of first 3 or 4 years coming out of youth rugby, was Clive East. Okay. And what a player! What an absolute player! Yeah, legend.
Yeah, legend of the club.
Even better drinker, to be honest with you.
Is it? Yeah, better than your brother Stephen, or?
Captain he'd be, to be honest with you. Stephen's probably better than him now, but 20 years ago, Clive was a 3 mouthfuls a pint man, and like a 12 hour a night drinker.
Yeah, you avoided rounds with him, like.
Yeah, you couldn't get out of it. That year, those couple of years where we were playing in that poly pipe or whatever it was called, one of the rules was we were all in the kitty together, like, you know, and yeah, I remember playing on a boiling hot day in Pyle, and I think we won the league up there actually. And Mr. Purdue was our team manager, and he walked around, made sure he asked everyone what they wanted to drink. Took him about 20 minutes, so nobody had a drink for 20 minutes, and then he just I think he went to the bar to get 4 lagers, 6 ciders, 3 of these, 4 of that, and he just come back with about 45 flagons of Strongbow. So it didn't matter what you asked for, you were drinking.
You're having that, like
whatever he wanted you to drink. But
you didn't argue, though, did you? No, just get down. Oh, brilliant, mate. Clive is 13.
Yeah, Clive is
14, Matt. Who's on your right wing?
14's a little bit of a wild one. Chris Baxford springs to mind, and Nicky Bonham, 2 lightning wingers.
Flyers, yeah.
Well, I've picked a guy. He's a French lad that came up from university. A guy called Anthony Langland. Right. I think he played 9. He played centre. He played fullback, but he was only a dot. And he played a lot of rugby on the wing for us. And you know, a typical French player, skills that you never seen before. You know, he was real quality player.
Look, man, what happened to him then?
He was studying. I'm not sure whether he was one of John Tregg's finds, and sort of said, "Oh, look, if you want to play rugby while you're in uni, come up to Pony Mine, you know." And every week he'd turn up without a penny in his pocket, you know, and he'd be the last one. He'd be the last one out in shades, you know.
That sounds like JJ, doesn't it?
Yeah, oh, cut from the same cloth, mate.
Murder, honestly, terrible. What was it? Anthony what?
Langland. Lenglin, I think is the way it is. Frenchie, we called him.
Oh, you are Frenchie. Put it down as Frenchie, you are.
Neil Sturgis was the coach at the time, and he used to often see him staring at Sturgis to see, trying to work what was going on. Like, you know, coming from France, and quality, absolute quality.
Brilliant. Right, okay, so 15.
15 for me. I played with Chris Lewis in youth. Played a lot of, you know, and Chris went on to play first team rugby for a long time. Great player, in fairness. And another guy I played with was Mark Isles. You know, solid as a rock. But I did play quite a bit of rugby with Darryl Williams, and different levels. So yeah, Darryl would be my 15 on a team sheet, mate.
You're a gentleman, absolute gentleman.
Lovely guy, mate. He's actually I've enrolled into his dental practice as well. I haven't done an appointment.
That's why he's in your team, is it? You want to get a cheap appointment? That's all right. Don't worry, Scans. Don't worry about it. You're going to do what you're going to do.
I haven't been there yet because of COVID, but
right.
No, he's a top bloke and a great rugby player. Really good.
He done a bit of the sevens up there. I think did he play for your team?
Yes. Yeah, he plays in the summer down on the university fields. I see him quite a bit down there. He's still having a go with his with the team. He's part of Still got a little bit of gas left. Yeah,
still got it. Well, mate, that's your team anyway. That's a hell of a team. A few characters in there. A few boys you wouldn't mind going to war with, and a few boys you wouldn't mind going on tour with. So that's what you want in a team, isn't it? And hopefully a few of them will give you a pint back now in the bar when this is all over. Happy days. The backroom team, mate. I want. Can we note that we want Nick Allen on the spike? Spikey's in there. Nick Allen to put the flags out. Gary Jenkins. We have to get Gary in there. Gary Jenkins is kit man, and Peter Britton is team manager. My favourite person up there. Peter Britton Esquire. Oh, what a top man. Legend up there. Oh, Scans, thanks for doing this, mate. I really appreciate it. And it's been great just to hear your side of it and tell a few stories, which, you know, I haven't heard before as well. So it's been great, pal. And just these videos, these seem to be going well, and we're getting lots of views, lots of comments, lots of positive things happening. And just if everybody who does watch this, if they can keep liking and subscribing to our channel, there's going to be a lot more content coming out there and a lot more information with regards to our fundraising, which we've got planned, which I've been banging on about a little bit, but I think we might have a little bit more information on that, Scan, if
Yeah. Well, just a very quick overview. We got a parcel of land up at the club which we purchased, and we're desperate to turn into a junior training area, a floodlit junior training area. So we need to get a bit of money together with that. So we've come up with a bit of an idea that we're going to ask people to donate £100. Obviously, a large part of that will go towards the development. But what we'll do for the people that donate the £100, what they'll get out of that is we plan to have a special edition rugby jersey made. And basically, within the jersey, everyone that donates, name will be sublimated into the hoops, into the red hoops. And also, on the entrance to the club, we plan to put like a graphic, like a brick wall, and everyone that donates the £100 will have their name on a brick, basically. So it's about building the future of Bonymine RFC. So hence we're going to have a wall just sort of, showcasing everyone that supported the club, and hopefully everyone that's passionate and understands where we get our players from, will buy into it. And ultimately, if we'd been open during the Six Nations, I think I might have spent a little more than £100 up here, and
I doubt you would have, but
hopefully a lot of people will
100%.
So there'll be more details coming out in the next day or so, I would have thought, Stu, with regards to how to make the payment and how to order the size of your jersey and the name that you want put on the wall. So keep an eye on all the social media streams, guys, and hopefully you'll get behind us and allow us to deliver that project.
Spot on, Scans. What a great idea, pal. And just let us know when it's all happening. I'll be more than happy to get my name and on the jersey and get my kids' names on it as well, and get my name on the brick. It'd be such a great idea.
Yeah. Obviously, we want to involve the junior section, so there'll be a junior section option on it as well. So,
brilliant.
So there'll be a junior section jersey and wall hopefully as well. So hopefully everyone will get on board. So thanks for doing these interviews, Stu. They're bringing a lot. They're bringing a lot of focus to the club, a lot of good feeling, and a lot of great memories for a lot of people. Keep doing what you're doing, pal.
Cheers, mate. Thank you very much, and thanks for everything you're doing at the club as well, mate. Appreciate everything, and I know you're quite modest with it all, but what you are doing is fantastic, pal, and appreciate it. You're a legend. Thank you.
Top man. Thanks, Dave.
Just take care, buddy.